Post-planting operations. These are operations that are carried out in the farm after planting is done till the crops are harvested. Now, activities performed in the farm to care for the crops till maturity, till they are harvested and stored, they are known as post-planting operations. These operations are performed to care for the crops till maturity. Number one is thinning. This is the act of removing excess numbers of stands to give room for the remaining ones to grow well. The weak ones are removed and the remaining ones are left for optimum growth. Now, thinning and supplying goes hand in hand. When you thin, you remove excess. When you supply, you add to places that refuse to germinate, such as this. Now, you remove excess and supply other places. Now, fertilizer application. This is another post-planting operation. This is particularly carried out to enable the crops to perform well, to give room for adequate nourishment. During placement of fertilizer, care should be taken not to go too close to the crop stand to avoid the burning of the roots. When applying fertilizer, there are several methods that can be used, and they are all outlined in the written part of this lesson. Manures can also be applied instead of inorganic fertilizers. But when applying manures, ensure that they are well decomposed, that is, they decay very well before application. Another post-planting operation is weeding. Weeding can be done by pulling with hand or by hoeing. You can use hoe to remove weeds from farm. But aside these manual processes of carrying out weeding, mechanical means can actually be used to carry out weeding as well. That is, with the use of machines. And that depends on the stage of development of the crops. Now, if the crops are well grown and they are tall, manual ways of removing weeds may be necessary, or in some cases, spraying with herbicides can be done. As you can see, this is a mechanical weeder. It is removing weeds from the farm. Now, weeding is a very essential activity in post-planting operation. It helps to get rid of weed so as to prevent them from competing with the crops. It gives room for a clean environment and the crops grow optimally because they have enough water and enough nutrients all to themselves. Pests and diseases control. Now, the control of pests and diseases is paramount in farming operation. This cocoa tree is affected with black bolt disease. There is need to spray them and get rid of the causer organisms. But in cases where this cannot be successfully achieved, there might be need to cut down the trees so as to prevent the further spread of the disease. Now, cocoa trees can be destroyed to control the weeds from spreading to other plants. Pest and disease control is very essential in agriculture, as pests and diseases reduces productivity in crops. Harvesting. Harvesting is also carried out in post-planting operations. This is particularly when the crops are mature and they are ready to be harvested and used for consumption or for industrial processes. Farmers harvest their crops at the appropriate time of the year when production is accurate. Farm level processing. After crops are harvested, the crops can undergo processing in the farm before further processing in the industry, like the removal of cocoa beans from their pods is a form of farm level processing. The removal of seeds from melon is also an example of farm level processing. That is, it removes the seeds from the pods. Now, these are processings done in the farm before further processing is being done. Also, the peeling of cassava or the husking and winnowing of cowpea and soya beans. Cocoa beans can be harvested, processed before further storage or before they are sent to industry where they'll be used in the manufacture of beverage. In general, crops undergo farm level processing so as to prolong uh, its lifespan before it gets to the industry where it is used for further production. And some crops such as cowpea also need to undergo farm level processing such as threshing and winnowing, that is removing the shafts from the pods, and this helps it to get it ready for human consumption. In soybean farm, for instance, as and when the crops are mature and they dry, they also undergo processing. They are threshed, they are winnowed before they can be sold to our customers for consumption. Storage. Crops that are not intended for immediate consumption should be stored in appropriate storage structures. And care should be taken. Regular checking needs to be done because some pests goes from the feed, they are attached to the seeds from the feed to the storage room, and these destroy the seeds. So there is need for optimum supervision so as to ensure that the crops that are stored are still in good condition. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.